This is Morning Express. Glad that you're here with us this wonderful morning. Do stay with us. And remember, I'm still waiting for what has been a hot topic for you this week. And you can send that via Twitter. The Twitter handle is at Michael G. Gitonga. For now, we want to talk about Kalasha International. And joining me here is Juliette Vivier, who's the audiovisual attaché, French Embassy. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for inviting.
I'll also mention that we're expecting Alex Muya from the Kenya Film Commission, and if we do manage in time, he's here, we'll have him in the conversation. But we want to talk about Kalasha International. Now, for starters, Kalasha International has it been rebranded?
Completely rebranded. So I guess media professionals out there from Kenya, they were knowing Kalasha Awards that has been existing for the past 5 years, and since a year we decided to partner the French Embassy and the Kenyan Film Commission to completely rebrand the Kalasha Film and TV Awards and to bring it the new concept of Kalasha International, which is actually compiling three main components. One is a film festival, one is still the awards, and the third one is a market. And the market is really a way to position now the industry at an international level and to welcome media players from around the globe for starting, fostering and developing businesses within the region.
Okay, so what's the main difference between Kalasha and Kalasha International? Is it that you have inclusion of more international films, or is it the business aspect?
It's both, actually, because within the awards, it has been opened up to new categories, such as East African film. The film festival didn't exist before, so we launched a new international film festival, fostering mostly films coming throughout Africa. And it's going to be screened in various places in Kenya, so mostly the main cities, Malindi, Mombasa, obviously Nairobi, Kisumu, and many others. And the last component is really the business side, thanks to this B2B platform that the market will bring in. So the concept is really to showcase what Kenya has to offer, but also the rest of the region. And from in order to cover the entire industry, because we are not looking at only the content, we are looking at also all the services that you can bring within the film and TV industry that also cover the TIC, for instance.
Okay, and why did the French Embassy find it important to partner, with Kalasha?
Yeah, it's more than that, actually, in the sense that we together build the concept and together rebrand the Kalasha International. I mean the Kalasha Awards into Kalasha International. Why? First, because I do believe that, in France it's very important to have this diversity in terms of production and content. This is something that we defend highly because it's a way to promote and showcase what you have, your stories, your know-how, your expertise. So that's point one. Point two is France is very close to Africa, even if obviously we are closer to the French-speaking countries, but I guess it's in the bottom of our heart that we are always partner and we always dealt with African companies and people. And third, being in Kenya, this is also our role to foster business opportunities and partnership between the French companies and the local companies. So film and TV industry, it's a huge industry that is booming thanks to the digital switchover. Right. So it was quite logic to embrace
this industry. To just embrace and go with the flow, go with the current. All right, how would you compare the French TV and film industry as compared to Kenya?
Well, obviously it's more developed in the sense that currently in France it brings almost 1% of our GDP, which is massive. And if you compare with, in a direct value, if you compare with the car industry or in the pharmacy industry, the film and TV industry in France is higher. So it's really massive. And then in Africa, when you look at the three leading countries, if I can say so, within the industry, you have obviously South Africa, Nigeria, and Kenya. And Kenya has a big role to play to really create jobs, create new revenues, increase the share of the film and TV industry within the GDP and the total revenues of the country, and really make profits out of it, while also showcasing what you have, guys, and bringing back productions within your countries, which will also reboost the tourism industry.
Oh, fantastic. Now, in terms of talent, I know Kenya has got immense and wonderful talent. However, for some reason or the other, maybe the business angle hadn't come out such that a lot of it is absorbed in doing other things because they can't make money out of film industry. Is that likely to change, and do you see it changing soon?
Yes, absolutely. And for doing so, to me, you need three main components. You need to have the opportunity of networking, you need education, and then you need proper training on how to sell yourself. So this is what the Kalasha International is talking about, because by having this 2 days market, it's a way to say, okay, look guys, here you can meet up with companies from France, from Korea, from US, from also Pan-Africa, and start dealing with, develop your business, showcase what you have to sell, pitch your concept, sell out, make it in various languages, and just make sure that your programs or your know-how or your expertise or your technical supplies or whatsoever can reach new customers. So that's point one. Point two, in terms of education, within the Kalasha International, we're going to have several workshops and conferences. And actually among them, there is how to sell and how to buy. Because it's not that easy to have the proper techniques.
Right.
When you are facing a guy from LA and you say, oh, how am I going to sell my content to these guys, you know? It's not that easy. So it's just some tips and techniques to make sure that you're going to have the proper pitch, and also then you're going to be able to secure your contracts, your IPs, your rights, and so on and so forth. And then the third point is, same France, I mean the French Embassy with Kenya Film Commission is also working on developing new curriculum. And actually we are looking at with USIU, which is a university here in Kenya, to develop the first animation curriculum degrees actually in Kenya. That would be brilliant, because the next big step in terms of content would be animation and video games, and that is a massive and very profitable industry.
And I'm sure we have enough talent to even tap into that.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Okay. Now, before we even get to the selling of the product and the content, one of the challenges I know that is there is down to cost, equipment, and even talent. How do we overcome that challenge?
By creating new partnerships. You know, I really do believe that to start, you might need to be commissioned. So by now you have new players coming into the pictures, and they are mostly Pan-African players. So what they are looking at is very good in quality content. And for doing so, I guess they are ready to pay the cost and make sure that we're going to do a co-production. By doing a co-production, both parties are bringing money, but they are also bringing expertise. And this is the way, step by step, you are increasing the quality of your content. So that's really, to me, a point where to foster the quality and the equipment. Because more you are making money with your content, more you can reinvest in your equipment, and more you partner in terms of co-production, more you get to know how to manage at the best your program.
Okay. Now there's this, it might sound a bit cliche, but there's always been the notion that Africa needs to tell a story in its own way. Are we able to develop the film and TV industry, not necessarily cut and paste from the Western world, but look for a new way of doing it that just we can identify with? Absolutely.
First is going to be your story. Your stories are unique, and they are your heritage. So that's the point one. I do believe that, you know, when you look at, for instance, there is a new Pan-African channels, or even the channels that are currently broadcast through many pay TV platforms, and they are throughout Africa. These people and the audience, they don't want to see African stories telling from a white perspective. What they want is African stories for African people and telling with the African ways, right? So when you have, let me provide you a concrete example, Canal Plus, which is very well known on the West, they are looking at brand new TV series a TV African series. So fresh, completely original TV series. And what are they looking at? They first want to work with African team and producers. They are looking at African stories, and they want to make sure that the series is going to be with the African touch, because they are reaching an African audience. So you see, this is where step by step we are going away to some cliche, or you know, the fact that we're going to have only programs from the West. From the West.
Okay, one of the impediments or barriers one might imagine, and I'd like to hear what you have to say about that in telling the story, is sometimes you want to use the local language, which may not be understood internationally. How do you overcome that?
By localizations, yes, subtitles, obviously, or even you can use dubbing. That also will come. I was very surprised last year when I went to DISCOP. It was one of the main issues. Since the digital switchover, the contents can flow from one country to another. Right. And obviously you have to cope with the language barrier. And this is where you're going to have new companies raising in Africa, that, which are localization companies. So to shift from one language to another, this is what we are doing throughout the globe. And it's not a big issue. And if I may say so, you have one of the latest series from Netflix, it's Narcos. And it's fully in Spanish. And you know, you would say, oh, but you know, the American people, they don't like it. They need to have it in English. But actually it worked. It worked.
Wow, fantastic. Now let's talk about the actual Kalasha event that's going to be taking place. What should one expect?
What you should expect, to have the ability to participate to the first step of structuring the industry in the region, to be part of this complete new initiative, which is to serve the industry, to serve the people out there working within the industry, and to step by step build up a very lucrative and profitable industry. So this is what we are this is what we're expecting, and we expect also to bring more and more year after year people coming from all around the globe, and who wants to start dealing with Kenya and East African region. So I just would like to take this opportunity to say that Kalasha International is scheduled last week of October, and it's free of cost for all professionals and students who are in the film or communication or journalism field. So please I would like to tell to all the professionals out there, log to kalashainternational.com and register, and please join us for this
wonderful occasion. And where is it going to be taking place?
At KICC.
KICC. Yes. Okay, now once you come in, what is going to be there? Is it, do you come to watch films? Do you come to
for the exhibition itself, it's a network. Once you have registered on kalashainternational.com, you have passwords. This will bring you the whole contact database. Prepare your meetings in advance. We're going to have a dedicated places within the market for people to sit down and discuss business. We're going to have an exhibition part as well, bringing together the African companies. So the best, what we're expecting from the market is really people to come here, discuss, network, deals, create new business opportunities, partnering, and so on and so forth. And in parallel of the exhibition, we're going to have workshops and conferences, and also pitching sessions. So you guys out there having great stories to tell, come in, pitch.
This is the opportunity.
Yeah, okay. And find new co-producers.
What if I'm not in the industry? Can I still come and see what's happening there?
Well, it's really a professional and B2B trade fair, so it would not really make sense if you are completely out of the...
You might have somebody who may want to invest in the industry, may not particularly be...
Yeah, so that goes through requests.
Okay.
Yeah, and obviously audiovisual industry means as well, when you are in the, you know that better than me, in the film and TV industry, you are also tapping food and beverage industry, insurance, banking, cars, and so on. So you have many indirect industries that are tapped by the audiovisual sector.
Okay. And how long is the exhibition going to be?
2 days, 28, 29 October. And it's also a way we partner with DISCOP, which is a content market taking place the week after in Joburg. So it's also a way to bring the people that are coming from Europe or some other regions to say, okay, on one trip, over one trip in Africa, they can cover East and South regions over these two initiatives.
Oh, fantastic. Now, I'm sure there'll be some very nice films and demos brought for people to see. Is there any plan to develop this and maybe have them viewed on a different platform?
Yes, it's our plan for year 2. So we have to start. So we started. And yes, after this first edition, towards the second edition, we're going to upload contents and have a kind of showcasing room online for the producers or co-producers out there to be able to log to the website, look at what Kenya or other producers can offer, and continue dealing and doing business.
Now, one of the challenges I'm sure that we probably have is that majority of our artists and filmmakers probably stumble into it because it's fairly new in Kenya and in Africa. Is there a plan to maybe have this talent tapped from a very young age and developed and encouraged?
In a way, yes, because we are bringing the students. We partner with many universities here in Nairobi. And we want to bring some students to come in and to be inspired and to start also making a proper network, because we will guide them during this week to meet up with maybe some mentor and prepare their career. So that's a way to be inspiring. And when you go to some conferences, you can also meet up with brilliant people where you can interact for the first time, and that may be going to lead you a step further within your career.
So how long is the plan for Kalasha to continue in terms of now the French Embassy partnering with?
Years and years and years. And we really intend to grow and grow and grow. When Cannes Festival started, it was only 300 packs, and now it's 15,000. So, you know, we have
You've grown
a long
in
way
leaps
to go.
and bounds.
Yeah.
All right, fantastic. Thank you very much, Juliette Vivier, for coming to share with us what Kalasha International is all about. Do we expect any international presentations from other countries? Yeah, especially during the festival. So we're going to bring the best of the animation of 2015, and that's mostly from various parts of the world. So this is where we're going to expose within the film festival films coming from out there. We're going to have also some feature film documentaries coming from various places around the globe. So this is where we're going to expose some production from out there. And also we're going to welcome some sailors coming from Europe. That, you know, it's also where they're going to pitch also what they have to sell as the other way around. All right. Thank you very much, Juliette, for coming.
You.
We appreciate and we wish you all the best. And I'm sure the film industry is out there waiting to go. And we thank the French Embassy for also participating and partnering. Well, that's where we're going to wind up this particular interview. But do stay with us. We've got hot topics coming up right here on Morning Express. Don't go away.